your views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/GistFM every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
Okay, guys, like, subscribe, and share, right? Hit the subscribe button right here. Thank you.
My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Mano Doku Dana Bakrino Gidi. Join Martins on Political Views on Mondays 3 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM. Gidi.
The Supreme Court gave a former federal lawmaker, Farouk Lawan, 5 years sentence for $500,000 bribery, opening a historic journey from lawmaking to prison. Good morning and welcome to Political Views on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifanshuku Ekezie. The Rivers State House of Assembly overrides Governor Fubara after the governor was held assent to oppose legislations. Jega, the former INEC chairman, slammed INEC for the malfunction of the IREV during the 2023 elections. Jega says that INEC owes Nigerians an explanation. A lot is happening, so let me get right into it. Let's get right into it. Let me bring you up to speed on the happenings in our political space this morning. The headlines. Governor Yusuf has not decided to join APC, says aide. Governor Yusuf has not decided to join APC, says aide. Kogi lawmaker denies involvement in shooting, accuses hospital of negligence, lies. Your divisive politics will be resisted, Edo government tells Ize Iyamu. 1 year after, Air Force apologizes for killing 27 in Nasarawa airstrike. $500,000 Otedora bribe. Supreme Court opposed Farouk Lawan's 5-year jail term. Reappointed commissioners. I bear no grudge against anybody, says Fubara. Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline. Federal government, Morocco in talks to expedite project. Fresh fears of fresh killings resonate. And lastly, Abia sacks traditional ruler, approves replacement. You remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on this platform on 08096661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll get into the details of the stories this morning. Stay with us.
Oh yes, Omunya, are you ready? Omunya City White Crusade. Oh God, you oh God, Popo. Omunya na pobodo niile gbara ya okirikiri gaji ịghọta mbitụ aka Chineke n'ụzọ gaji ebube dịka evangelist John Oka ga-atụda n'Omunya iji wee chịkọba ọgbakọ oziọma mkpụrụ abalị abụọ ga-ada ụda akpọrọ 2 Nights of Solution. Abalị abụọ iji wee weta ogbo nyere nsogbu gị niile. Isiokwu ya bụ Enough is enough. Tell Ahab Elijah is here. O zuola, ọ tụọla ya. Amụghị nwa gị ahụ atụọla ya. Ọnọdụ ụbịam o mebere ma chi ekwe gị ahụ atụọla ya. Nrịanrịa ahụ na-emebe gị ahụ, nsogbu nke ezinụlọ, abụmọnụ, alụghị di maọbụ nwaanyị n'oge kwesịrị, ha niile ga-abịa n'isi njedebe maka na eluigwe esugo ya stam. Cheta na ọ bụ Apostle Dr. John Oka ka Chineke ga-ejikwara ngwa ọrụ n'ọgbakọ oziọma a. Ọ ga-amalite n'abalị 23 wee ruo n'abalị 24 nke ọnwa Febrụwarị afọ a. Ọ ga na-amalite ma o jiri ọkara gafeta elekere 4 nke mgbede n'ụbọchị Jizọs bụ eze.
You're welcome back to Political Views on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Now we'll take you through the news making the headlines, the stories making the headlines on our political space this morning. The first story we have for you this morning: Abia sacks a traditional ruler, approves replacement. The Abia state government on Friday announced the deposition of the traditional ruler of Ibom Isi in Arochukwu Kingdom, Arochukwu local government area of the state, Eze Kano Nwakano. The state also directed that Eberechukwu Oji be crowned by the community as Eze Aro the 9th immediately. According to a statement signed by the State Commissioner for International and Culture, Oke Kano, on Friday, the decision was made following the recommendations of the Board of Inquiry into allegations of misconduct against the traditional ruler. The board was inaugurated on November 16, 2023 and submitted its report to the government on January 8, 2024. According to the statement, the government released a white paper accepting the recommendation of the board. The statement read, "Government duly notes and accepts the recommendations of the board and hereby declares as follows: that His Royal Highness Eze Kano Nwakano Eze Ibom Isi of Arochukwu Kingdom is hereby sanctioned and is certified of recognition and staff of office, and his certificate of recognition and staff of office as a traditional ruler in Abia State are hereby withdrawn immediately. The Abia State government hereby affirms that Okereke ceases to be the traditional ruler of Ibom community as Ibom Isi in Arochukwu Kingdom, Arochukwu local government area, and the deputy chairman Arochukwu Traditional Rulers Council, Abia State government directs the Ibom Isi kindred to immediately commence the process of producing a new Eze to replace the deposed one, Dr. Kano Nwakano Eze Okereke. And the next story we have for you this morning, Governor Yusuf has not decided to join APC, says aide. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has reacted to the call by the acting national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, to join the ruling party, saying he has no plan yet to dump his party. Nigerian People's Party, Ganduje, had last Thursday appealed to Yusuf and members of the NMPP to reunite with him in the APC. He spoke at the end of the APC stakeholders meeting in Kano, where he subsequently reaffirmed acceptance of the Supreme Court verdict that affirmed Yusuf's victory at the last governorship polls, although Ganduje did not specifically mention the spiritual leader of Kwankwasia movement and his erstwhile godfather, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and the APC leaders. Still on the stories making rounds our political space this morning, Kogi lawmaker denies involvement in shooting, accuses hospital of negligence, lies. The Kogi State House of Assembly Majority Leader, Suleiman Abu Razak, has denied accusations of vandalizing the Federal Teaching Hospital, Lokoja, and engaging in violence following the death of his father-in-law. Abu Razak's statement comes in response to a press release issued by the FTH, which claimed the lawmaker led thugs who vandalized hospital property and brutalized staff on January 23rd. The Nigerian Medical Association subsequently called for Abu Razak's arrest and prosecution, alleging that he led hoodlums in physically assaulting medical doctors and health workers at the hospital. However, Abu Razak, in a statement, admits visiting the hospital with two of his brothers and a colleague, but refutes these claims of violence and vandalism, calling them calculated attempts of a campaign of calumny against him. The lawmaker also stated that his father-in-law died due to alleged delays and negligence by hospital staff, and recounts arriving at the hospital to find the A&E department locked and encountering opposition, and left him unattended for 3 hours before his demise. The next story we have for you this morning, your divisive politics will be resisted, Edo government tells Ize Iyamu. Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nekere, yesterday chided an APC Guba aspirant in the forthcoming governorship election, Osagi Iyamu, to take responsibility and stop being economical with the truth as it concerns the development of the state. This was contained in an open letter made available to newsmen signed by Nekare, but addressed to Osagi Iyamu over unfounded allegations against the Edo State government led by Governor Godwin Obaseki. Nekare, who described as shocking Iyamu allegations of marginalization and the underdevelopment of Orumuo local council, said Obaseki has taken bold steps to address the issue in the state by opening up the space for more actors to provide electricity, among others, developmental projects. He said it is not only disappointing, but the fact that Orumuo local council has been unlucky over the years with the quality of leadership he has been saddled with over the years, with the likes of Ize Iyamu, among others, who were in successive governments in the state without anything to his credit or to point at in Orumuo local council, where he hails from. Meanwhile, members of the Charles campaign organization yesterday purchased the expression of interest and nomination forms for General Charles Ahebere, retired, to contest the forthcoming governorship primary election of the All Progressive Congress in Edo State. Still on our political space this morning, 1 year Hassan Abubakar has apologized for the airstrike in some communities in Nasarawa that resulted in the death of 27 civilians in January 2023. Abubakar apologized yesterday when he and other top officers visited Governor Abdullahi Sule at the government house Lafia. He said, "You may recall that sometime in January last year, airstrikes were conducted in a village near Rukubi, Doma local council, after sighting some terrorists on motorcycles transiting through Wutagudu near Rukubi. The areas as at the time was known for its heightened insecurity occasioned by killings, kidnapping, and terrorism. All these necessitated the air strike, which led to the killing of innocent citizens that provoked outcry. Our findings revealed that some innocent persons were killed by the airstrike while we were trying to hit at the terrorists. In view of this, which is in line with the best practice, there is the need to make amend. Our visit is to solicit your kind intervention, interfacing with the representatives of the victims of the accidental airstrike at Rukubi. He, however, said that it will continue to keep with its responsibility of protecting the lives of citizens. He stated further that the unfortunate incident of January 2023 was in no way deliberate, as no military will intentionally kill those it is mandated to protect. Our interest in initiating peace is to calm the nerves and bring closure to the matter. Our effort will promote accountability, transparency, and enable us to learn valuable lessons in the future to mitigate civilian casualties in the conduct of our operations. And the next story we have for you this morning is the major story on our polity this morning. $500,000 Otedola bribe. Supreme Court opposed Farouk Lawan's 5-year jail term. The Supreme Court has affirmed the judgment of a lower court that sentenced former House of Representatives member Farouk Lawan to 5 years imprisonment for receiving a bribe of $500,000 from a businessman, Femi Otedola. The Federal Capital Territory High Court had sentenced Lawan to 7 years imprisonment for receiving a $500,000 bribe while serving as the chairman of the House ad hoc committee investigating the fuel subsidy fraud in 2012. The trial judge, Angela Otaluka, held that Lawan demanded $3 million and received $500,000 from Otedola in 2012 to remove Otedola's oil company, Zeno Oil and Gas, from the list of firms indicted for fraud in the fuel subsidy regime. She also held that Lawan was guilty of all 3 counts of corruption and bribery, dissatisfied by the judgments of the lower courts. Justice Tijani Abubakar, in the judgment yesterday, upheld the decision of the appeal court and dismissed the appeal. He said it is crystal clear that the failure of the trial court to call for allocutors does not affect the sentence passed on the appellant. This issue is resolved against the appellant. I find no merit in this appeal. It is hereby dismissed by me and affirm the judgment of the court below, which affirmed the conviction and the sentence of the appellant to 5 years imprisonment for count 3 on the charge. The appeal is hereby dismissed. And still on the stories making rounds on our political space this morning. Reappointed commissioners. Abia no grudge against anybody, says Fubara. History played out in Rivers State yesterday as the 9 commissioners who resigned their appointments in the heat of the crisis between the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yenso Wike, and the state governor, Similaye Fubara, were sworn in. This was even as the Rivers Elders and Leaders Forum yesterday applauded the Supreme Court judgment affirming Fubara as the winner of the March 2023 governorship election in the state, noting that the judgment has ended an era of strong men and entrenched the rule of law in the state. The returning commissioners, all loyalists to Wike, resigned their appointments during the political crisis that engulfed the state. Political observers said the returning commissioners resigned based on the directive of their master, Wike, and have been returned by the same person. However, while swearing in the commissioners, Fubara said, I can see how heavy your hearts are, but I assure you that I don't have anything against any of you. You were caught in between during the crossfire. Recall that While the crisis between Wike and Fubara raged, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu summoned a peace meeting where an 8-point resolution was signed in an attempt to end the crisis, which different groups, including lawyers, have criticized, were the recalling of the commissioners and recognizing the Martins. Amewelu led the House of Assembly as the authentic assembly. Few days after the peace deal was signed, Fubara stated that implementing it was not a death sentence, promising to implement all, even though the Rivers Elders Forum had filed a case in court challenging the peace accord for being one-sided in favor of Wike. Speaking further during the swearing-in event, Fubara said it was imperative for the commissioners to engage in activities for which they would be positively remembered by posterity. He also enjoined them to uphold and defend the state's constitutions. I wish you well. I wish you well in your coming back. Stand for justice and stand for the interests of our dear state. That is the purpose of your appointment, and that is good, he added. And the next story we have for you this morning, Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline. Federal government, Morocco, in talks to expedite project to fast-track process of achieving the final investment decision on the Nigerian-Morocco gas pipeline. The federal government has intensified discussions with the Kingdom of Morocco. The discussion, which held on Wednesday, January 24, 2024, on the sidelines of a meeting between the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, and the Moroccan Minister of Energy, Transition and Sustainable Development, Ms. Leila Benali, was anchored by the NMPC Limited Executive Vice President, Gas, Power and New Energy, Mr. Olakan Ogun, and the Director General of the Morocco National Office of Hydrocarbons and Mines, MEM, Amena, countries in Abuja in 2022. Both parties emphasized the strategic importance of the project to the two African continents and the need to drive it to objective of stemming energy poverty on the African continent. It will be recalled that the cooperation agreement for the 48x 5,300 km pipeline from Nigeria to Dakar, Morocco, and 1,700 kilometers from Dakar to northern Morocco was signed in 2017 with a capacity of 30 billion cubic meter per year, equivalent of 3.0 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day. The pipeline will traverse the Republic of Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Senegal, Mauritania, and terminate in Morocco with export to Spain. And the next story we have for you this morning, fears of fresh killings resonate on the plateau as crisis festers. As the crisis in Plateau State festers with the killing of more than 30 people in Mangu local council of the state last Wednesday, Nigerian security agencies have been urged to regularly review their operational tactics towards the restoration of the lasting peace. This was even as the coalition of the Plateau State Indigenous Fulani Association has alleged that at least 9 of its people were killed this January without any state government, saying there was a plot for ethnic cleansing in the state. The Mangu crisis started in the morning of January 23, 2024, from the outskirts of the local council, but spread into the town later in the day. degenerating into a seemingly ethno-religious crisis with many places of worship touched. The killings in Magu occurred barely a month after a well-coordinated terrorist attack in Bukus and Bankidi Ladi areas of the state led to the murder of 195 persons. The attack affected 84 communities in Bukus and Bankin Ladin and left 29,350 persons displaced. According to the Red Cross, the coordinated attack also left 301 persons injured and 27 houses burnt. Former military governor of the state, Major General Lawrence Onoja, retired, who called for a change in strategy in containing the crisis, stated that keeping to one operational style will render the operations and services of the security agencies ineffective, thereby providing leeway to the bandits, criminals, and kidnappers to freely operate. Still on the stories making the headlines, still on the stories making rounds at political school space this morning. The next story we have for you is Fubara pledges accelerated development after Supreme Court victory. Rivers State Governor Sir Similai Fubara has assured the people of the state of accelerated growth and development now that the legal battles challenging his election are over. Fubara, who disclosed this in a statewide broadcast following the affirmation of his electoral victory by the Supreme Court on Thursday, dedicated his victory to God and the people of the state. The governor described the litigation experience as torturous journey that validated the choice and confirmed the mandate given to him by the electorate. It is with great joy and total deference to the Almighty God that I address you after a torturous legal journey following the governorship election in our state. He said, with great nostalgia, I reflect on your trust and the absolute confidence you bestowed on us on that fateful March 18, 2023, when you gave us your mandate. Even with the overwhelming support, we had to go through litigation to validate your choice and confirm your mandate to us. We are deeply elated by the verdict of the Supreme Court of our dear nation, which has finally affirmed our victory. I owe this victory not to my efforts or our ingenuity, but to God and to you, the good people of River State. Governor stated. But as the governor is celebrating the victory, Rivers Assembly overrides Fubara's assent to 4 bills. The face-off between Governor Similai Fubara and the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly is far from being over, as the House on Friday overruled the assent of the governor to 4 bills which were earlier passed and sent to him for assent. The House took the decision to override the governor's assent during its 99th legislative sitting at the Assembly quarters along Abia Road on Friday. This was contained in a statement issued by Martins Wachuku, media aide to the Speaker of the State Assembly and sent to newsmen. The statement indicated that the lawmakers took the decision after the governor withheld his assent to the 4 bills via letter to the House, which were read on the floor of the House, stating that such amendments would create confusion and breach constitutional provisions, remarking on the Rivers State House of Assembly Fund Management Bill, which was presented afresh by the Majority Leader, Major Jack, and debated by members. The Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Amawele, cited Section 100, Subsection 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1990, as outed, which empowers the House to override the governor, where the governor withholds his assent. The speaker then put the question, and the 24 members are present at the sitting unanimously agreed to override the governor. In like manner, the Rivers State Local Government Law Amendment Bill, the Rivers State Traditional Willers Amendment Bill, and the Rivers State Advertisement and Use of State-Owned Property Prohibition Repeal Bill, Willers Amendment Bill, and the Rivers State Advertisement and Use of State-Owned Property Prohibition Repeal Bill were all represented, debated, and voted upon with unanimous decision to override the governor's assent. Yes, there you have it. A lot is happening in our political space this morning. You will remember that, the former INEC chairman, Jega, also asked INEC to explain to Nigerians the issue of IREV, the malfunctioning of the IREV during the 2023 presidential elections, You will remember that Abia State sacked traditional ruler, approves replacement of that, traditional ruler. And one thing that we will also put in mind is what is also going on in Anambra State when it comes to that. You will remember that the Rivers State Assembly overrides the governor of Fubara on 4 laws. The Rivers State House of Assembly Fund Management Financial Autonomy Bill 2023, the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Bill 2023, the Rivers State Traditional Rulers Amendment Bill 2024. You see, so it is important that we look into this. The Rivers State Advertisement and Use of State-Owned Property Prohibition Repeal Law 2024. So as the lawmakers in Rivers, what you have to say about all of this, the numbers you will call and then you become part of the conversation remains 070-3445-9334 or 070-4559-2210. Let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? Yes, good morning, my brother. Kekima. Gabaniru, going to Kuno Kana need a Kofma. I hope.
And we're taking because I'm all you when
I think I want someone to pana Ondo Mele Hajwe Soluna, Niger, the Kazumafia, Niger Delta Development Commission. Yes, when like it was when let to Abia State, more better than Imo State at a time. So Ondo Dena Niger Delta, Development Commission, like one of the Southwest states sooner. Niger Delta Development Commission, and that is because of maybe the position of oil as well. So now I got to my brother. Okay. 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 Mani yelo tife JP. Opi ilo tife JP Clark ku. Opi ilo tife JP Clark ku makadisten. Okilo Tife JP Clark about the state city involved in the Niger Delta Commission, if you will recall now. Gabani he told you about him. onye dị involved na business make it to the level no or work with onwe to that level where such thing kedu ihe ọ bụ imazi na a ga-ewepụ the tribal sentiment when it comes to that ma ọ bụ na mmadụ work his way through the oil business where work gide we go to level ọ nọ na enwezi anything gbasara tribe dị na nke ahụ onye nwa bụ the thing now. Okay. Oh, now, but the question in Ajo, but like, now we call his journey, but he has worked his way to the level on. Only boy lawmaker seek from him. Now, a lot here DSS, where send the puzzle of the person Diego in accordance with DSS, send the some part of the money. The person accepted, whatever the case at the end, and you go the person 5 years, go jenga, makainata bribe na kia. So that's just in kind of you know to. Nyawa no onwe alert DSS or the kanyawa na eme illegal we kpọba DSS ka DSS dey involved na mmadụ demand the bribe from him ke wepụ afia like a company and a list of companies in like a list na ga ewepụ na oil stuff na like maybe na ana allege no we famer nyawa na azu iso onwe ya. So that's just the thing. So at the end of the day, everything about tribal sentiment. Some things about Maka no again. Okay. So you na see investigate to ponya watu. Okay, ngwandalo. Oh, thank you so much for joining us this morning, my brother. Dalo, let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? A lot is going on, you know. Yes, welcome, my brother. No.
Okay, come on, speak on this morning.
Gabani Rusa, oh.
Yeah. Ito kandido maka Ghana ekwu maka elections Ghana dey cover Nigeria. Ya muri ọkụ ya ama na mgbe otu ụbọchị ceremonial ya ọ na Nigeria bụ na net. Gịnị mere na ọ pụtara mgbe ahụ ọnwa ji ose ka ọ na-ata ata nsogbu adị ebe ọ bụla na-ekwu maka chiche ga na-ejekọ ọgba nkịtị dịka ọ bụrụ na Tinubu ọnwa Jọgọ tupu onye ọbụna ọchịzụ ebe mmadụ ihe oyibo onye agba nkịtị ọ nọgide ji ọkpụrụ ya agafetana okwube ya na onye iwe gburugburu na mmadụ onye ahụ nwogbu ọ na-ekwu nwogbu iri onye ọbụla maka ihe na-amara ọtọrọ ya mana ugbo owegbu oge ọzọ onye polisi ya zụna Abụbaka onye na-abịa arịrịọ echetakwara maka ahụ na-ekeka dị n'izu echetara mgbe ekwuru ndị amị agọọ na ha amata ndị meri anụ na-akara atọ ka amara ndị ọgwụ maka na onwe a na steshọn eji anyị abụ ọrụ ha na ba na-eje a na-eme ya nsa anyị mana agọtara m na ụjọ mgbe ebe ya ọzọ mana ndị ji ya gbazuru n'elu tude echeta na na-asa ihe arịrịọ a enweghị uru ọ bara mụnwa maka ndị nwa nwa nwụọla anaghị arụ ọrụ nabata aha na n'ọrụ enwe ya na-egwu egwu aja na ọzọ ihe a na-eme na mmangu kasị n'ọdịnihu mmadụ taatị egwuregwu ana m ajụ ndị amị niile ndị esi niile ndị polisi nke aha wee bụrụ ndị na-ekwu egbe n'obodo a ihe a na-emenụ o mere ha na mberede dịka ihe ọbụwụ atental ọgwụ ya na-emesi nke ya mere ihe agbagha nkịta na-ebusi ndị mmadụ ebe ahụ ya eme ha pasị ụka nkịka amụ ezigbo ezigbo ndị ọzọ mana ebe a na ha abịa awajikọ ebe ọbụla be ebe South-East ma na azụmahịa ejiri mara ha akwụsịrị uru ọ na-akọ ndị mmadụ ego ebe ọ na-anakọ ndị mmadụ ọ ya akaja ịrụ ka obi protect the life and properties of the people nọ na the country mana ji akwụkwọ na mmadụ akwụkwọ na Benue onye njiwe na-esi ihe abụ o nwere ihe mma ji eme ọ ga-ama na ya na-arụ abụrụ ọrụ ka a na-arụ ya pụta ji dị megide ndị mmadụ daalụ.
Okay, Dalo. When it comes to Nke efforts, before Gaba, but what I want to point out here is the fact that sometimes when we comment on things and I got on, you know, I was sentimental. Forget the questions that we are supposed to ask. Yes, he apologized, But I think when he's talking about responsibility, when he's talking about being transparent, and when he's talking about the fact that they want to do better, I think the people who are involved in the particular anybody who will also take responsibility next time or to handle those things will be very careful about what is going on. I think that's what our people should address. And sometimes we use sentiment to forget the objective things that we are supposed to ask. Says Martin, what I want is, I thought the traditional rulers have immunity given them by people. It is true that traditional rulers are bought with money and no longer for the interest of masses, but for the political parties. It is uncalled for, an abuse of seat and disrespectful. It is shame and disgrace to unseat a ruler, and then the gods are to be blamed. And the issue of our gallant soldiers, it is a shameful and disgraceful and disgrace for self-acclaimed trained soldiers to agree that they have denied or they made mistake. May God save us from all these things that are happening in Nigeria. He continued and says, the bribe saga, let them still investigate and bring many of them like the life. And then he says, Alhaji Ganduje of Kano State, and that also accusing of taking the same bribe and others. We are not going to be clapping and singing until others are brought to book. He says the lawmakers are all APC and want to destroy the image of and think that they are fighting the governor. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's hear from you. What do you have? Okay, please go on now. Your name and location.
All right, my name is Chikoko. I'm calling from Oka.
Okay.
Because when I had to say, what is going on in the River State?
Yes, Rivers.
The question is this: what is going on in the River State with democratic system and action?
Okay.
You see, when you go from Benue State, the governors take advantage of being a chief executive to challenge everyone, including the traditional rulers. So in the River State, the House of Assembly asked for autonomous, and he refused to sign it. The House of Assembly asked for autonomous even for traditional rulers to have just some protection and advertising, this public advertising board.
Okay.
So if the other states can emulate River State, you see, wildness in the state also deny people sense of belonging. That's a democratic sense of belonging.
Now, you and I know that there is something added to the lawmakers in River State. Now, you will see that we'll say that, okay, maybe the peace accord is some kind of power, that they are now using, or maybe because of the federal might in some kind of way. So that's the reason why you can't see that maybe in another state, right? Is that also?
Let me ask you, Martin. What the River State House of Assembly done, is it pattern in a democratic setting? That's the question I ask you.
Yes, it is not. It is not bad in anything. But what we are looking at now is like the process itself. Is it like the way you claim is democracy? Do you think the people of River State are in accordance with what they did when it comes to this particular decision now?
See, majority of River State, unless it's people that they call oppositions, people who don't blind eyes in a good thing.
Okay.
And the House of Assembly to be autonomous, to be in charge of their money. Yes, it's a pattern. You see, sometimes if there is a misunderstanding in a person or some people, people use it, whatever will come out of it. Some people use it, say it's a pattern.
Okay.
It's never a pattern. This is democratic in nature. The governors have put this country, the citizens in a bad light. Even a transition, they want to select everyone. You and I know in Anambra State what happened 2 days ago. So, if other states, that is not the state is not the government or is not in order. It's in order. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not because Nigeria are not getting it right.
Okay, now
the primary objective of House of Assembly legislation is to put it right. It's not right.
Okay, now still talking about legislation at the end of the day. Is this possible in the?
That is why people are crying they are not doing the right thing. That is why Nigeria continues to stay in darkness. Because the legislation, they are not doing their work. Their work is to, if any law is not in order, they are amended. That's their primary objective of being a legislator.
Now,
that is for the interest of the people. Because the main objective
Okay, now
what will benefit the governor, not the citizens of that state.
This, we know that the lawmakers that did this are loyal to as the governor of River State. That's the question now. And this thing is happening because the federal is in support of what is going on. Well, like that backing of weakening for the lawmakers themselves. Do you think this?
See, my brother, you see, we go to a church without knowing the principles of God.
Okay.
God can use anyone or any situation to correct our anomaly.
Okay. Okay.
You understand my point?
Yeah.
You understand my point?
Yes, yeah.
So don't see it as it is democratic in nature. Any person who contends that doesn't look for a democracy.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. To hear from you. What is your take on all that is going on in our political space this morning? Hello. Vanil.
One this morning.
Thank God.
All right. I don't know why federal government is just supporting that thing that is happening in River State, because if you see that thing that is happening now, they are almost the government has to not take much actions on what is going on in River State. So I think the federal government should remove that their federal mind and imposing on River State, because it can lead to anarchy and challenge.
Okay.
Where people will just move out and support the government. You know what happened in Kano?
Yeah.
Almost the people are with the Kano State governor. If they do that, that is that where they give that time to go the other way around, they could have shipped the wars of Nigeria. Go down to River State.
Okay.
So urging the federal government not to allow this country to happen in River State, because opposed the River State, you affect all the whole Nigeria.
Okay. So yes, the thing is that some people can see the good was the River State Traditional Willers Amendment Bill 2024. Don't you think that some of the traditional willers in River State will be in River State Traditional Willers Amendment Bill 2024? Don't you think that some of the traditional willers in River State will be they will be in support of what was done?
Yeah, they will be in support of it because they are giving them much power now.
Okay.
To conquer their vicinity. And nobody will challenge them. Even the governor will have no right to challenge them.
Okay.
I think that year they should throw that into the game, because if they allow that to try traditional language, some of them operating armed men. So I don't see the need of that bill. They should throw that into those bills. The government have right over the traditional institution, because the state have commissioner for chieftaincy and traditional matters. So why are you putting bill for that? You make the office of the commissioner of the chieftaincy matters too.
Yeah. The executive will still be the one to execute or to implement at the end of the day. So the conflict now will be like maybe the executive will be reluctant in trying to implement it. That will be reluctant in trying to implement that,
because the implication of that.
Okay.
The House of Assembly will go on with it. So it doesn't make sense for that bill. I don't support that bill, because most of the traditional leaders are doing worse than governors. They say people's land grabbing, putting tolls on their citizens.
Okay.
I think that bill they should not consider it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. 34459334. And remember that we are talking about the lawmaker, the federal lawmaker that was sent to 5 years imprisonment for collecting bribe from Otedola. What is your take on all that is going on in our space, our political space this morning? Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, my brother. Take him, man. Okay. Yes, and a lot of fears of the fresh killings. And crisis. So now the community. Yeah.
Now, we are able to spend the money. Like mother on effort in here. We really go up to 500. Well, what do you think? abanyekwa na mangu to mangu aba shandam to shandam aba na ntamu ebe a niile ọ na-ewutekwa ndị obi biko ndụ ndị mmadụ a na-ana n'ihi ọkwa na nju akọgbu a ghọbụrụ ọrụ ọkaliti ebe a akata na ọbụla mgbe nke a bụrụ mbụ nke ịbụa mbụ igwe ike na-achụpụ
yes, n'Abia steeti
n'Abia
yes.
so ibe a na-eme